Okay, Kurt. Thank you so much for coming on the show and taking time out. And I was always a huge fan of yours, so
Thank
thanks
you.
again for doing this.
I appreciate you have me on the show. I really do, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, of course, man. So like the first I want to start asking you is you just filmed something for the WWE. They're coming out with a story about your life, like the ups, the downs, and how was it like for you to go back and talk about everything you've been through in and out of the ring?
You know what? The documentary is an amazing story. It's a story about a kid with a dream, and he had a lot of adversity to overcome. And it's really it's a tearjerker. I mean, it's really emotional, but it's a really well done documentary. It tells an incredible story about my what I had to overcome to make the Olympic team, which was a lot of stuff that occurred along the way, including the death of my Olympic coach 6 months before the Olympics. I broke my neck 2 months before the Olympics. There was a lot of adversity I had to overcome, and it's a great story. It really is.
Oh yeah,
It starts airing on Peacock September 2nd.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And like you throughout like your whole wrestling life in the WWE, like you were in some amazing skits, like some stuff that I absolutely love from you and Stone Cold doing your songs with the cowboy hats and the milk bath. And do you have a skit that you had the most fun doing?
You know what? I loved all of them. Doing the cowboy stuff with Stone Cold, battle raps with John Cena, driving the milk truck into the arena and spraying down Stone Cold and the Alliance with milk. That was so much fun. I had other skits that I did. There was a promo I did about Rey Mysterio where I was messing up the words, and I was sounding like a pervert. Like Rey Mysterio. I'm going to tell you one thing: you're a boy in a man's world, and I'm a man who loves to play with boys. So our writers were incredible. We had a writer named Brian Gawarz that wrote all my stuff for me, and I have to thank him for a lot of the great stuff I did. But I also had to deliver it, and I was really proud of that. Yeah.
Okay. Like the skit that the fans still talk about it is the milk bath, because everyone knows Stone Cold with the bear bath, and then you did
Yeah.
like the milk bath. And how was like that whole experience, like you know when you're gonna go in there and spray down a bunch of people with
Yeah.
a big thing of milk?
It was the greatest moment of my wrestling career. It really was. I mean, not even wrestling. It was driving a milk truck into the arena and dousing Stone Cold Steve Austin with milk. It was so much fun. But remember, there would never been a milk truck without Steve Austin doing the beer truck. He did it a couple of years prior. So that was kind of an extension of it. And the writers came up with that idea, and it was brilliant.
Yeah. So, I have to ask this. Like, I mean, you're always known for milk. Like, is there
Yeah.
milk that you like to drink? Like, is it?
I, I try to stay healthier. I drink skim milk, sometimes 2%. I'm not crazy about whole milk. So it's just too much fat in it. I can't handle that. So, I would say skim milk is the preference.
Okay. Did you ever try any of those other kinds, like the oat milk and all that stuff?
I tried them. I tried almond milk.
Yeah, the almond milk.
Not the same. It's not the same. I
No,
I
it's
like
not.
regular milk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pasteurized milk. That's it.
definitely.
I don't mind adding a little bit of chocolate to it.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
That or like that quick mix, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hershey's chocolate syrup.
And like another thing that became huge was something you and Edge started,
Oh
the
yeah.
you suck chant during your song.
Yeah.
And did you ever think like from you and Edge doing that, like it would turn into this big thing that it turned
No.
into? Like when people hear your song, they can't not say that.
Right. Right. When you go out there every night and the fans chant "You suck" to your theme song, it sounds like it's degrading, but the fans started doing it out of adoration for me. Like, so it didn't make sense, but
No.
I started to just enjoy it. It's like I even, you suck. I'd force them to do it, and it's just it's weird, man. And this business is really odd, and the fans are incredible, though. They do what they want to do, and they cheer who they want to cheer, and they liked me, and I was very grateful.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that, it's just so funny because when you're there live, like when I go to the shows live, and then you hear like all these people chanting "You suck," and I'm like, Kurt Angle doesn't suck. He's like the best.
It's crazy. I hear my theme music in arenas and stadiums, and all the fans chant "You suck," and I'm not even there. I'm watching a football game, and they have a timeout, and I can hear my music, da da, and the fans are chanting "You suck." It's crazy. It's all over the country. It's like it's one of the most popular theme songs.
Oh my God, yes,
Probably
definitely.
because they get the chant "You suck." That's probably why.
and like you've been in some like classic feuds. Is there a feud that you think was like your best feud?
You know what? I had some great ones in my career with Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, but my really good ones, my favorite ones, were against Shawn Michaels. Him and I had a three match program. I really enjoyed working with Shawn. I think he's the best overall entertainer in the history of the business. Also, Chris Benoit. I really enjoyed wrestling with Chris. And Eddie Guerrero, one of the greatest I have ever gotten in the ring with. Those three are my favorites to work with. And I have to give Brock Lesnar a runner-up. I think working with him, we had incredible chemistry because we were both amateur wrestlers. And we were able to add that amateur wrestling into the repertoire.
Yeah, like when you were feuding with Shawn, like I was always a huge fan of Sherry. And like how was your experience like working with Sherry during that
Oh,
whole
she
angle?
was great. I didn't even know who she was because I didn't watch wrestling before I joined, and meeting her, she had such incredible presence. And everybody kept talking to me about how she was the greatest manager of all time. So I went back and watched tape of her, and she really was. She never missed her spots. She was always there. She was there to support Shawn. And whenever they needed her to do something in the match, she was always there on time. So she had a knack for the business like nobody else. And I really enjoyed working with her. I feel badly that I had to put her in an ankle lock, but that was written in the show.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Putting a woman in an ankle lock.
But she used to do this wrestle. So if anyone could handle it, it would be Sherry.
I heard Sherry took a lot of bumps in her career, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And even though you stopped wrestling now, like you're still in really great shape. Like what do you do like for like your workouts and diet?
When I died really hard, and the reason is I had my knees replaced about a year ago, and my weight went up, and my knees got really bad, and it has a lot to do with pro wrestling. So when I got my knees done, I decided that these are the knees I'm going to have the rest of my life. I need to take care of them. So I lost about 40 pounds, and I've been keeping it off, and I've been able to do it with diet and exercise, but mainly diet. Really, what it comes down to, if you want to lose weight, you want to look like you're in great shape, diet is the key. That's 90% of it. The working out is the other 10%, but it can add to it. Just the diet is really the most important thing.
Oh wow,
And it
okay.
consists of high protein, low carbohydrate, low fat. Everybody knows that, but the hard part is doing it.
But like, is there any time where like you're doing something or busy and you can't eat what you want, you have to drink like a shake or something?
You know what? Very seldom. I used to all the time because I always wanted to get protein in my system every couple of hours, especially when I was competing and performing. But now I don't drink a lot of protein shakes. I have my own protein out called American Dream Cookies and Cream Protein. That's the preference I have because I love milk and cookies, and it's cookies and cream. And so I partner with a company, and we came out with a protein, and that's my go-to. Whenever I can't, I don't have time for a meal, I'll drink it. But very seldom do I not make sure I have time for meals. I always make sure that I can eat at the proper time.
Oh wow, all right.
That's first
And
priority on my list.
and when you get bored of eating good, like do you have a cheat meal that you go to every
my
now and
my
then?
cheat day is horrendous. I can't tell you. Listen, if you wouldn't believe the amount of food I eat, and it's all horrible, like cake and pie and ice cream and candy. Like I can actually consume 20,000 calories,
Oh
and
my
it's not a problem
God.
for me. And the issue with that is I had to learn how to control it because for 6 days I would diet strictly, and then the seventh day I'd eat everything and anything, and it would ruin my diet because I ate so much. See, when you diet, it depends on how much you consume every 24 hours. But if you consume a huge amount on the seventh day, that washes the whole week because the calories you take in, you're going to gain the weight anyway. Even if you cheat that one day, all those calories are going to add the pounds. So you have to control your cheat day and maybe have one cheat meal and continue on with your strict diet. But man, I go crazy. And it got to the point where I wasn't losing weight anymore. So I had to like put a hold on it and say, okay, no more 20,000 calories. I'll eat a
Right.
2,000 calorie meal for my cheat meal. So that's what I do now is 2,000 extra calories that one day.
Okay, there you go. And like we were saying, like you wrestle like the greats, like from Hulk Hogan to Chris Jericho, Sting,
Very
Stone Cold,
fortunate.
The Rock,
Yeah.
The Undertaker. Like, is there anyone you didn't get a chance to work that you wanted to?
Yes, Bret Hart. I would have loved to work Bret Hart. I think he's one of the best technical wrestlers of all time. I put him up there with Chris Benoit and myself and Eddie Guerrero. And I would have loved to work with him. He was the one guy when I got in the business that I was kind of focused on. This is who I want to work with eventually someday. But unfortunately, he left the WWE a year before I came in, and he ended up getting injured in WCW and he had to retire. So it was unfortunate I didn't get to wrestle him. But Brett and I talk about it all the time. He says the one person he would have loved to wrestle was me. And, we call each other every once in a while. We talk about what would have been and what could have been. But the only thing it does is it ends up making us depressed. So we don't talk about it that much anymore.
Okay. I mean, one person I would love to see you face, since you face like mostly everyone, but you are both in two separate wrestling promotions, was
Mhm.
Randy Savage. Like I would have loved to see
Oh
him.
man, you know what? Randy was one of a kind.
Yeah.
What not only was he a great in-ring worker, he was one of the greatest entertainers. The crazy thing, what I heard about Randy Savage is he always acted like that, even if he wasn't on TV. Like in real life, he would be
I
the macho
know.
man. Like it was crazy. He lived the gimmick, and you got to respect that because that had to be hard to do. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he just got so used to it that it didn't phase him anymore. But he lived the gimmick 24/7.
Oh, yeah, that's what I hear too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to work with Randy Savage. He was a great athlete.
Oh my God, definitely.
Yeah.
And like, what did you love most about your TNA run? Like, again, you wrestled like a lot of people there. Sting was one of them.
Yeah, I wrestled Sting, Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Robert Roode, Ken Anderson. I was very fortunate. I'm very glad I went to TNA. I got to wrestle guys that I wouldn't have wrestled in my career if I would have stayed in WWE.
Yeah.
And that company was really special. It was a smaller company. They were second fiddle to WWE. And but we started doing really well in ratings. We're getting over 2 million viewers a week on Spike TV. And it was a proud moment for me because I was able to help that company get to that level. And to get to that mainstream level, at least for a few years, was a big accomplishment. and guys like Sting and myself, and we even had guys sign on like Kevin Nash, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan came in, Ric Flair came in. Everybody just, once I came in, everybody started following. And it became a pretty big deal for a while. They had a really good run for about 5 years.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
And and like, are there any like younger stars now like you think can carry the ball, whether it's in AEW or WWE? Like, is there any young stars you have an eye on?
I like watching Kenny Omega wrestle for
Yeah.
AEW. He's a great wrestler, great athlete. I love the guys, wrestlers like Ricochet in WWE. I think he's really underrated. I think a guy like that could be a huge main eventer for the company and draw a lot of money for them. The matches that he has are just incredible. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, both companies got a lot of talent right now. And, I wouldn't say they have the talent that we had back in the Attitude Era. Like back then, everybody was a superstar. The opening card guys, the middle card guys. I mean, The Godfather, Val Venus, Bob Holly, guys that were mid card, opening card guys were huge stars at the time. Now, there are like 5 or 6 top guys in the company that everybody knows, and everybody else is just, not really as recognized. So back then we had a special group of guys, but don't get me wrong, the guys today, they're actually much more athletic than we were. They do a lot more crazy stuff, a lot more flips and acrobatic stunts. But hopefully they'll hone that in and come back to the way the wrestling was, where, you have wrestling holds, wrestling moves, stuff like that, not just stunts. But I think everybody's doing a good job today in WWE and AEW.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. I don't know what like some of the fans are the ones who are causing like the tension between AEW and
Yeah,
WWE.
yeah.
I mean, you should just love that there's 2 wrestling leagues and anyone could go anywhere. But everyone's siding with one and trashing the other league. I'm like,
Yeah, you know what? It's crazy because fans pick sides. They pick who their favorite is. And, WWE is still in the lead. I think they'll always be in the lead. Don't get me wrong. AEW's doing great. But, they've done pretty well in ratings, from time to time. And they've actually came close to beating WWE in ratings at certain points. But the WWE is just a monster. I mean, they're a company that's worth $9 billion. And, when you have that kind of money behind you, it's just really hard to compete with. Don't get me wrong, Tony Khan has money too, but not WWE type of money.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you also do your own podcast too.
Yes, I'm competing against you. Yeah, I've had the Kurt Angle show for the past few years. I've had the Kurt Angle show for the past few years. I actually like doing it. What we do mostly, we have some guests on every once in a while, but mostly I just talk about my career and what I've endured. And, every once in a while we talk about my Olympic experience, and we talk about TNA, WWE, some movies that I've been in. So it's a pretty cool podcast. It's more Kurt Angle-ish, but at time to time we have different actors on and legitimate pro athletes. So and we have some wrestlers on from here and there, but for the most part, it's mainly about me.
Okay. And I'm like a huge horror film fan, and I know you've done a horror film, but I know you don't want to talk about that. But but are there any horror films that you like to watch?
Oh, I love Halloween, Friday the 13th. Those are classics, man. I watch them every year, and they'll always be a staple in my life. My kids love it too.
Nice.
But what's the one now that's out? Insidious. Insidious. I heard that's a good one. I need to watch that. Yeah, everybody's been talking about it.
Oh my God, those series of films are so creepy.
Oh, it's Insidious?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I have to watch them.
And what kind of music do you like listening to? Like, what's on your playlist?
You know what? For the most part, believe it or not, I listen to Christian music. I really
Okay.
enjoy it. It seems to calm me down. Don't get me wrong. I love hip hop. I love country. I love rock and roll. My wife and I are going to see Aerosmith next week.
Oh
So
my
I'm
God,
pretty excited
same.
about that. Yeah. So that's a classic rock, band. And
Yeah.
so I love all forms of music. One thing I don't like very much is classical, but
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people at this day and age like that anyway. But I just was never into classical music.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Aerosmith starts their tour where I live at in Philly, and I'm actually going to see them too. So yeah.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. Are they? When are you going? What's the date? Is it the 4th or 3rd of
The
September?
September 3rd.
Yeah, because we're going on the 6th. They're coming to Pittsburgh after that.
Yeah.
They might even. I
Okay.
think they might make a stop in between at State College or Harrisburg before that. In
Oh
between,
wow.
in between Philly and Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Nice. And if you were doing a karaoke song, what do you think you would sing?
You suck. It's easy to remember, and the song has a good ring to it.
That's true. Hey, you're absolutely right. That's true.
You know what? I'm a horrible singer. I've never done karaoke. I probably should, just to have fun, but my voice is so bad that it's embarrassing. I could never expect people to listen to me.
And the last question I'll ask is I'm a big I do my best to help out with mental health because I donate to a lot of different things, and I grew up being bullied and teased because of my speech problem, stuttering, and if someone like is battling depression or bullied, like what advice would you give to them?
I think they should go get help, talk to somebody, make sure that they're that they're going to be okay. I honestly, I also think that this world needs to open up their eyes and realize this is actually occurring very much so. My daughter is getting bullied right now. And, we went to the school and said, listen, do something about this because, this is not going to help my kid in the future. You could do some long-term damage with that kind of stuff. And I really think that we need to be more vocal and more alert about what's going on in the world and how people are bullying other people. And you don't deserve to be bullied just because you have a stutter, you have a speech impediment.
Yeah.
That is who you are, and people need to accept that. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's why, like, I I do my show, and however I talk, and I just stop caring now, like with
You
other
know what? That's all you
other
can do,
people
man.
think.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Say screw them, screw it. I'm gonna do my thing. And you know what? You're doing pretty well, brother. I can't I
Thank
can't
you,
argue with that. You are kicking ass and taking names. So you should be very proud.
thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Sure, man.
And where can fans follow you at?
I am on Twitter at Real Kurt Angle, Instagram at The Real Kurt Angle, and Facebook at Real Kurt Angle. And I also am, I think, The Real Kurt Angle on TikTok. So I just started TikTok a couple weeks ago. Man, that's one different breed of social media. I mean,
It is.
like we were trying to make it really special by putting a bunch of videos together and adding a lot of things to them and just make them fancier and nicer. But man, it's a lot of work. I mean,
It
social
is. It's a
media
lot.
now, it's become a full-time job, man. It's ridiculous.
Are you gonna do any of those like dances, like the TikTok dances and all that stuff?
Hell no, I can't dance. I'm never going to expose myself. I would be so embarrassed. My wife is like, I asked her if she would go to dance lessons with me. Just to like slow dance. She's like, you can't dance. You can't even slow dance. I'm like, well, I'd like to learn how. Maybe you can come with me. And she's like, no, it's not going to happen. So, my dancing is, I'm never going to get any better because my wife won't let me.
Well, thank you so much, Kurt. Like, it was so much fun talking to you, and it's an honor to meet you and chat. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for having me on, man. I really had a lot of fun today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Don't forget my documentary, September 2nd. It comes out on Peacock. Everybody look for it. It's called Angle. And make sure you watch it. Tell me what you think.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Kurt.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, man. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.